Hey, you okay? You all right? You okay? All right, so today's project, we've got an air conditioner here, and it's really loud. And it's loud because a bad design, literally. If you think about air like water, air needs to flow smoothly through something. Air the same way. If you look at vents in an industry where there's exposed plumbing, you can see that everywhere where a vent goes, it's an elbow, it's a curve. It's not a 90-degree turn. And so what I've found out with these air conditioners here in this Discovery is that it's a ducted system, so there's ducts that go to the front and the back. But where the fan blows, the fan just blows the air down against a flat piece of metal, and then the air just is forced down and then through these tubes. Alright, so let's take a break here and let's look at how an air conditioner actually works, especially here in the RV. So from the picture on the screen, you can see that the hot air from the cabin of the RV gets sucked up into the front part of the air conditioner up on the roof, and then that air is sucked up into that first place, and then it passes over this coil that's cold, and the air goes through that coil. It gets cold, and then on the other side where the fan is, now the fan is what is pulling the air from the other side. It pulls the air up and then through that coil, and then it blows it down into the separate chamber. Now what happens in many RV air conditioners is that the air blows down and then out. And then if you have a ducted system, a lot of times you'll have louvers. So if you open up those louvers, the air just blows down, straight down on somebody or into the rig. Or you can close those louvers and it forces the air through the ducts to then come out other places. Well, with my air conditioner, of course it's an older one, it's vintage, there is a metal plate under the bottom where the cold air comes down. So that air just blows straight down into a dead-end road and then is forced through the air ducts. And so what happens is that creates a lot of turbulence, that creates a lot of noise. For the air is just blowing against something flat and then pushed out through the ducts. So what we want to do is to make that a little bit smoother. And so what we want to do is make that smooth so that the air flows down from the fan and then smoothly into the ducts. That should increase airflow in the ducts, and also it should quieten this down so it's not so much air blowing against something flat. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Alright, so this is the piece of metal. It's just a flat piece of metal, and it just kind of goes boop, right up there, and the air hits this and then is forced down one way or down the other way. I'll show you. Looking up here, there's the duct that goes to the front of the RV, and there's the duct that goes toward the rear. So right there it goes back. But you can see that the fan just blows straight down. See the fan right there turning. We want to build some kind of a baffle that angles the air and pushes it into those vents nice and neat. There is no air that comes out of this unit here. Like, I know that there are some other units that have air that come out of the unit and the vents. This does not have that. So that's what the project is, make a baffle. Okay, we're back at it. We've got our first piece here, and it's just to block off the side over here. So you see it butts up to the edge of the duct there, and it butts up to the edge of the duct over here, and it butts up to the edge of where the fan is, which is right up in there. You can see the fan right there. So now we'll work on putting that baffle on the other side. All right, so what we're doing is we're cutting this chloroplast to go up in the plenum and be a diverter for the air. And we're cutting this at an angle because we're going to, and it's also important to make sure that when you're cutting this, if you use chloroplast, that you go against the natural the way those little holes inside of it go, because you're gonna bend it, and you want it to bend and not snap. See, right here we had to cut it, but you want to be able to bend it and not snap it. So this will make a lot of sense once we get inside. Okay, so we've got the sides blocked off, and now we're making the baffles, the little curved shapes that will take the air blowing down and gently push it down the vents. So what we're using is some chloroplast. You can find this stuff for free everywhere. These are because they're up there, you can use old yard sale signs. I mean, you can use chloroplast for a whole lot. So what we've been doing is we have taken this and we've bent it so that it's a nice curve, and then we'll stick it up into here where it'll go up and then angle back toward that vent, and then we'll seal up the edges with some tape. So you can see, if you look up there, we've already got the one done that's going to go towards the back, and now we're working on putting the one that will push air toward the front, and then we can seal everything back up. First off, before we seal everything up, we'll seal all the gaps with some of this silver tape. So with that, we're going to keep working. Okay, so you can see up there right now, there's the portion of this that's pointing toward the back, and you can see that it's in half of that hole for the fan. And then we'll take the other half of that hole for the fan and make another baffle to point it down that front vent. Okay, and now we have both of those up in there, so they kind of look like that. So the air comes down to the top and splits it, pushing both ways. So now let's turn on the fan and let's see how it works. Wow. I cannot believe how much air now is pushing out of these. That's crazy.
There's no air coming down here.
And that's so quiet. Let's put this back up, and then we will move on to doing this on the back. Plus on that job. So now that this project is over, a few things that I noticed while I was working through this. Number one, the draw side of the air conditioner, where it draws in air, is blocked almost 70-75% by the front air duct. So that can't be, it's trying to pull in a lot of air around the sides of that air duct, which is problematic. But there's really nothing you can do about that. And finally, this project really did work very well. I am extremely pleased with it. Increased airflow out of the front vents. As you can see, the picture on the screen, you can see how the airflow now is directed down and then pushed through those front and rear vents. One of the things that I did do with my system is connected by the ducting. So the front air conditioner and the rear air conditioner all share the same duct. So one of the things I did was I blocked the rear duct just in front of the rearmost vent in the main cabin, so that we can individually control the temperatures in either spot. If the kids want to be a little bit warmer up front, and if I want to be a little colder in the back, or if we just want to run the front air conditioner and let it just cool the cabin and not waste any cooling leaking out the back vents. That is something that I'm glad that I did during this project. But all in all, a great project. Something you should probably look into if you have a similar unit. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you get out there, RV, have fun with your family. Make sure you make it to church on Sunday.